Hey guys, and welcome back to part 2 of the Caretaker build. And if you haven't already watched it, go and watch part 1 of the Caretaker build. Go and check that and I'll put the links down there in the little card up the top there. You can go and click on that now. But if you want to continue watching this one, great stuff. We appreciate your views. But the main reason behind this build is also mentioned in part 1. And the fact that we mentioned that none of the hardware in his current system, although it is getting on a bit, it's still, for what he's going to be using it for, it's still going to be fine for him, and he can upgrade that later on, and he's going to get a bit of a more modern case anyway. So the HAF 932, as you can see, is actually a really nice case, but it is looking rather dated in its design and aesthetics. So we're going to be scrapping this one. We're not going to actually get rid of it. We're just going to not use it. When I say scrap, I don't mean actually chuck it in the bin. We're not doing that. So we're going to move this one out of the way and we're going to show you the new case. So let's do that now. If you're looking for custom cables for your next build, To The Wire Mods has got your back. Their bread and butter is custom sleeve extension cable sets or fully modular replacement cables for any brand of power supply on the market. Cable sets using custom sizes or bend measurements can also be supplied. They use the highest grade copper wire covered in high quality paracord using a heat shrinkless method for that super clean look your build deserves. To grab your perfect custom sleeved, modular or extension cable set, check out To The Wire Mods using the link in the video description below. So here it is, the new case of choice, the one we're bargaining on that he's going to like. Hopefully he's going to like it anyway. This is the Thermaltake. Let's turn it around so you can actually get a good view of the front as well. Oh, so this is the Thermaltake Commander C34. This is a fairly new series from them. There's about 6 in the series. Mainly the difference between the cases, as I mentioned in the review that we did of this case, is that the front panel is slightly different. And this particular one has this nice sort of curved edge on there and 2 huge 200mm fans at the front. So it's a case really designed for airflow in mind. Now with that, it wasn't actually blue. We have already started modding this one. And if you've been following me on social media, you will have seen kind of mock-ups posted quite some time ago now, actually, of me sort of deciding how this is going to look. And we went with my original plan. So you'll see it in the montage anyway. So you'll see that these are obviously blue. These are electric blue. These are Ford electric blue. And inside, I have, as you can see, already test fitted. Hopefully the light's not glaring on that too much. Let's take the side panel off. So this has 4mm thick tempered glass on the side, so bringing it into the modern era really, and getting rid of those that little perspex windows on his current case. And you can see I've already done a test fit as well of how we are going to mount this. Some things are going to change, and you'll see that in the montage in a bit as well. This whole case was obviously the sort of grey, well not grey, the black that you can see here. So we sprayed the vertical mount GPU bracket there, this whole panel at the back there. I wasn't sure whether I was going to actually do that or not, but we did it anyway, and it turned out quite nicely actually. So we marked off everything, and you'll see that in the video as well a bit later on. But overall, I'm quite pleased with the test fit of this build. So we're going to strip this out completely. We're going to get everything put in properly. So without further ado, let's get building. So part of the building process is finding out where you're going to route all the cables. Now I haven't actually checked that. All I did was test fit the components in just to make sure that it was going to fit where I wanted it to. But I haven't even checked any of these. So the process of me routing cables and then pulling it back and then routing it somewhere else is quite common when I build computers. But that's all part of the fun of building, is you know, just finding the optimum place for those cables to go and to make it as clean as possible. So those things there are front panel connectors, USB 3, and the power button, reset button, all those kind of things. Now I'm going to tidy these fan cables up here. Probably going to route them up that way and just sort of tuck them up there out the way, out of view. Or I can hide them behind this panel because they're not going to be seen, and we're not putting any drives on these panels here anyway. So we could hide the majority of the power cables, especially because we're using extension power cables to sort of change the look of the build. We can use the space here on the back of this tray where the hard drives would normally go to hide the cables. And to go with this build, we also have some blue cable ties as well. Of course, these cable ties aren't going to be visible from the other side, but why not? Let's use them anyway. finally the build is complete. Now we've had a few stumbles across the way. Most notably, if I can bring you in a minute, Will, is the vertical mount GPU. Unfortunately, we had to scrap that. As you can see, we've got them horizontally mounted now. The riser cable didn't work, unfortunately, so we had to scrap that idea and put it back as it was. So some other changes we've had to make is the CPU cooler, the AIO CPU cooler from Corsair. We had to keep that. We couldn't get another one in. So what we've done is we put two 120mm fans on that. Obviously, it's only a 120mm CPU cooler. So we've got that in push-pull configuration, and that will help keep the temps low. We've got the CPU overclocked slightly to about 3.8 on all cores. This is only a 4-core, 8-thread CPU, being as it's only a 770K in any case. So we have put an overclock on the graphics card. We've increased the power limit to 116. On these 780 Ti's, they will only go up to 116% power limit on here. We've got the temp limit still at 86, and we've increased the core clock just a little bit. I'm not going to do an aggressive overclock on this. We just wanted to test it with some basic overclocking. Fan speed I've left as auto. It seems to cope pretty well. So what we're going to do, we've just been playing some Renegade X. That's free, by the way. Link in the description down below. So we're going to run some Heaven benchmark and show you the results. So this actually does use SLI. Obviously, we've got SLI configuration in this computer here. And we can see at the top there, it's actually working. It works quite well in this particular game. We're using roughly about, GPU 1 is always going to be higher than GPU 2. It's just the way SLI works. So that's using about 94, 95% of the CPUs there. And you can see there that it's, about half. CPUs, obviously this is using, probably looks like about 4 cores in total, as most games tend to these days. This is actually really old, this benchmark, but it's still very, very good for benchmarking systems. So we're going to let that benchmark and we'll show you the results. So there we go. After a few minutes, well, probably about 10 minutes run, we can see that the FPS score is actually quite high. 217.1 there on Heaven Benchmark 4 and score of 5,469. Not bad. So the one thing I have had to change from running the test earlier, this is probably the third or fourth time that I've run the test, so I had to put a more aggressive fan curve on the GPUs because the temperature was reaching the max temp for these cards, which is about 80, 84, 86, I think, on these ones. So it ramps up when it gets to around 70, quite high to about 70, 80% fan speed on that. So that seems to be working quite well. Obviously the top one is more restricted with regards to airflow in there because it's squished up against the other card. So the temperature on that one will always be higher in an SLI configuration. The bottom one is hovering around 70 degrees, which is actually fine for a GPU. So Jerry is coming in a moment to come and see this PC. We're going to do a kind of reveal, but he has expressed interest not to be on video, but we are going to take some photos of it while he's looking around the PC, and hopefully he likes what we've done to the PC. So he's coming in a moment. We're going to get ready, so we'll see you in a moment.
Thank you guys for watching this video. It was an epic build, it took so long. Make sure to like, subscribe, click that notifications button. If there's any way you'd like to support us, then the links will be in the description below. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Thank you guys for watching. This was an epic build, it took so long. Thank you guys for watching this amazing build, it took so long. Make sure to Thank you guys for watching this video. It was an Thank you guys for watching this video. It was an epic build. It took so long. Shut up. You're not, that's it.
Bill.
No. Goodbye.